What's going on, everybody? Got a review for you. This is what I won in an EVGA giveaway, and I am going to be putting it in my friend Rusty's machine. He streams on Twitch, MasterMF2, I believe. There'll be links down below, but we're going to do a review on this and an install, and we're just going to kind of talk about it, so let's go for it. All right, so here's the packaging. Now this is the EVGA CLC280. So it's a 280mm radiator, so two 140s. There's some really nice stuff in the box. To be honest, I already opened it because I wanted to make sure everything was cool. User's manual, who cares? Mounting brackets, USB adapter. You need that. Let's get this out of here. All right. Oh yeah, there's also that little baggie labeled AMD, which is nice. This little baggie, which I've already started to pre-assemble, these are the Intel standoffs for his socket. And these are fan mounting, radiator mounting screws. And then these are AM4, so this does support modern AMD architecture. This is our pump head. Nothing super fancy, nothing out of the normal. One USB connector on there so you can control the LED lighting. This is one thing I do really dig about this that I noticed when I open it up, is it draws all of its power from one fan header on the motherboard. It doesn't require a SATA power. The older Corsair stuff, I'm not so sure about the new stuff because I don't really do a lot of all-in-ones, but having single power from the board, that's super nice. And then one lead that controls both of your fans. Corsair had a similar system with the disconnecting header on the pump itself. But this is kind of nice. You can run these up along however you want in one cable because they come out of the same location. So that's kind of nice. So it comes packaged in this black cardboard to keep everything nice and tidy and protect the fins on here. This radiator doesn't look to be super dense as far as fins per inch. So, I mean, I can actually feel the breeze coming through here. It's pretty nice. It's not the the greatest thing in the world, but it was free, and I guarantee you it's going to perform better than this Hyper 212. So it comes with the new EVGA fans, which are kind of a funky design. The frames are dipped. They claim it helps improve airflow and keeps the noise down. We'll see in the final build out and testing. We'll see how loud it gets, but I would imagine since these are 140s, they're not going to get super duper loud compared to 120s. Now this is standard par for the course stuff, but braided lines, nothing super out of the normal. It is a little bit larger pump than what I'm used to seeing, but they put a lot of technology into it as far as a high performance pump head, LED lighting, and it has this really nice clear plexi cover, which really accents the EVGA lighting. So we're gonna end up mounting this in the front because I do not believe we're gonna have enough room on the top, but we're gonna dig into it and see what we've got. So let's get into this. This right here is the USB header to control the fan speed, pump speed, all that jazz. Nothing out of the normal. You just plug it into a USB header on your board, just like so. And route your cables as neatly as you can. So one thing I'd like to point out about these fans that are on this, this cooler is you'll notice that the fan frame is kind of dished. It's basically spherical down to the fan bearing versus a fan frame like this that's nice and flat. With these fans having this dished orientation, I would advise against taking your fan as a pull for your radiator. So thus you would have, imagine this being the radiator and this being your fan. In a situation like this, you would be pulling air through the radiator. It makes it easier to clean. But with these fans, I would worry that it would actually just be pulling air past what it should be doing. So it's not actually going to pull air through, it's just going to pull in the path of least resistance. So we're going to leave these as push on this, even though typically I like to run them as pull because it makes cleaning and maintenance a lot easier. So that is one thing I can say maybe is a little bit of a disadvantage about the included fans, but that's an easy remedy. If you just buy some 140mm fans, you're good to go. All right, so we're done. The rig's together. We did swap one of the fans in the back to be red to kind of match the design aesthetic, but I really want to talk about the installation process. This thing went in pretty easily. There are a few caveats though, things that I really didn't like. For one, like I already talked about earlier in the video, the dished fan frame. I get why, you know, they say it improves performance for push, but if you want to run your fans and pull, the fans don't really work for that. Another thing we noticed during the installation is that on a typical fan frame, your holes are set exactly to the fan size. There are some exceptions. I know the Fractal Venturi fans have adjustable or removable wings, so to speak, the arms. You can swap those out so you can put a 140 in a 120 mounting spot, which is pretty cool. These fans, EVGA attempted to do something similarly, but instead of making the wings removable, they just drilled 2 holes side by side for the different size configurations, which may sound like a good idea, but when you're fumbling to try to thread the bolt through the fan hole and then thread it into the radiator, what ends up happening is if you get the wrong hole set, the fans aren't going to line up at all. So that's kind of a disadvantage, a little bit of a drawback about the system. Other than that, it's actually super quiet. We don't have the software installed on here, and I'm not going to do a temp overview because, I mean, honestly, going from this to that, and this is a 4790K, so going from this to that is a huge improvement. If you have a tower air cooler, even a more expensive one, if you have a Noctua, one of the higher end Noctuas, I guarantee you this is going to perform on par with the higher end, over $75, over $100 air towers, solely for the fact that it's just got more surface area. This, if you stretch this out into a radiator, it's equivalent to probably a 120. So now he's got over double the cooling efficiency. But other than that, the installation was super easy. Like I said, you only need to plug it in twice on your board, once for power and once to the USB, and that's just to control the lighting, which, as you can see here, is just set to static white out of the box. And then the other leads go to your fans. So it's all self-controlled. Like most AIOs, the fans are all controlled via the software on the pump. So yeah, it's all done. If you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Tell me what you didn't like, and I'll do my best to provide better content. As always, this is Chris. I appreciate everything you guys do for me. Thank you. Have a great day.